Hi, this is Coach Joe Lucas, and welcome to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. In this episode, what I want to talk to you about is how advisors really mess up their marketing by actually trying too many different things. And here's what I mean. Recently I had a advisor come to me seeking whether or not we could work together. And part of my process, just so you all know, is that I'll always any one of you can have 30 minutes of my time gratis. You just gotta go to my website, fill out an introductory call, right? And no strings, no nothing. I'm just here to help. But then if there's something there and it makes sense, then we'll do a deeper dive evaluation process, right? And in this evaluation process, I always ask about, what your stresses are, what's frustrating you, and to give you a little flavor here, this is a person who's been in business about 25 years, pretty successful. I mean, over $500,000 of rev. So by normal standards, right, successful. But they're always chasing something. And maybe you know what I mean by that, where no matter how successful, no matter how good a win is, it's never enough. It's like, yeah, but, and then you go to conferences or you go on the web and you see other advisors doing other things, right? And you go, well, if I don't do that, I'm going to miss out, right? And then we got this fear, this scarcity piece. And I think what a lot of advisors do is they really kind of get themselves twisted because they see what everybody else does and they think, well, I'm going to go mirror that. I'm going to go mimic that, right? Somebody's doing workshops. I'm going to do workshops, right? Oh, somebody's got this real slick COI program. I'm going to go do that slick COI program, right? And you end up collecting, right, all these marketing shiny objects, right? So I've got one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these. And when you really think about it, the easiest thing to do in our business, the easiest thing to do is to go whip out your credit card and hand it over to somebody or some corporation, some entity, and they are magically going to fix your problems, right? Because all of us think we have marketing problems, right? I've got a business development problem, right? So here's my credit card, my Amex, and cure me, right? And how many times in your career did you try that, and lo and behold, it didn't cure anything? All it does is increase your balance. And look, a lot of times it's not the fault of the creators. Look, I create a lot of programs. And in my mind, it's a partnership, right? I create content, I create a framework, but then I need the advisor to execute the framework, right? That's kind of 1A, 1B. And a lot of times what happens is that, we get smart. And you got to remember this. Whenever you buy a system, it is designed to work exactly as that system is built. So when you start hacking it, when you start messing with it, right? Well, I don't like this, I don't like this, or I don't like that, or then why are you buying it? All bets are off on anything you purchase when you start changing it, because if it's been tested and vetted, it's been tested and vetted that way, not in the way that you want to go do it, right? So I think we got to realize is, look, basics, right? Somebody came to me the other day and they said, Joe, I'm really bored. And this is a person that does a little over almost $3 million, right? And gross revenue. There's a team, and that's a whole nother topic of what W-2 is at the end of everything there. You get bored because everything's working. Look, let's be very clear in our space. We are not trauma surgeons. We are not firefighters. We are not first responders, right? We don't run into burning buildings. What we do is basically boring. It's meaningful work. It solves people's problems. It gives them a sense of certainty. So it is highly meaningful. So I'm never going to diminish that. But it is not supposed to be exciting. Unless you get your thrills from having a nice couple say to you, you know what, we can retire now, or thank you, and that's cool. But I think a lot of times you get bored. And when we get bored, we don't start monkeying with stuff. So we start playing with things that are working, right? And what's the old saying in our space? It works so well, I stopped doing it. Well, there's an example right there of what we do. Your business is supposed to be boring. Your marketing, by and large, should be rinse and repeat. So let's get back to that piece for a second. So, instead of trying everything, right, and dabbling with it all and executing all of it very poorly, right, here's what I did. I said, okay, so you've gotten some referrals. You got some COI relationships. You've got a couple hundred clients. We're not sure what's what there yet. And so what I had them do is I said, look, 1 to 10. 1 being totally dysfunctional, 10 being you could teach me. Where are we? And I had them go, okay, referrals, I'm like a 4. Okay, fair enough. Optimization, which is the process of taking an existing client, right, and making sure we have all their assets, financial plan, balance sheet, insurances, lending, whatever we need to do to optimize our relationship. How are we there? Maybe a 3, because always seeking more, right, seeking new. Then I said, well, tell me about our COIs. And he said, well, I've got 1 or 2 CPAs that from time to time will call me and refer me. We do nothing proactive around that, right? So that was like a 2, all right? So here's what I've got. I've got a level 3-4 referral gatherer. I've got a level 3-4 optimizer. I've got a level 4-3-4 on the COI relations, right? And this dude wants to go ahead and do this big online campaign, social media push, seminars, wants to do a radio show, all these things. I said, so back up for a second. So we're talking like $50,000. I said, let's back up for a second. End game. Because this is, by the way, when you look at your marketing and your business development, like Stephen Covey says, begin with the end in mind. The end in mind is how many new relationships per year, right? That's what's going to matter most. So if your brain is like, and most advisors that I deal with are going to be into 12 to 18 new clients, right? Somewhere like that. Now you get 24 and that's fine. But rarely do I see like 30, 40, 50, unless I'm in a big team, lots of moving parts, totally different animal. But if you're a solopreneur or an ensemble practice, you're going to be somewhere 12 to 24 to be safe, okay? So if I've got a couple hundred clients already from the last 20 some odd years, 25 years, and I'm a level 3 or 4 referral gatherer, in other words, I do nothing proactive, right? It just the monkey falls out of the tree, and therefore it is, right? Well, that case, if we just can get some strategies around, and I'm not talking about beating people up or anything like crazy like that, but if we can get some strategies, some awareness strategies around there, we get that 3 or 4 to like a 7 or 8. I'm not even talking to 10, 7 or 8. What do you think that'll do for your business? Well, that'll probably double the amount of referrals. Yeah, that'll take us from 4 to 8, or 4 households to 8 households, right? So great. Let's talk now about optimization. So you said about 3, 4, right? So what percentage of your clients, let's say there's 200 there, what percentage of your households are optimized? So we have a balance sheet or a financial plan. We know where all the assets are, or if they're not with us, right, they better be with us. Insurance, lending, the whole gambit, right? 4. Right? So out of the 200 households, maybe 20, 30, right? Okay. Then I said COIs. I said, well, if you have 200 households, do you know everybody's tax preparer, everybody's legal representative? Do you know everyone? Do you have that somewhere? Some yes, some no. So again, here's the thing. But let's go spend $50,000 on a vanity project to get us on the air when I've got a mess here. I'm unoptimized. Where's the business for all you MBAers out there, right? What business case is that? But this is what advisors will do, by and large. I see it over and over again. It's shocking to me after 25 years. Because we don't operate in sound business practice. So here's what I said to him. I said, look, man, if you want to go spend 50 grand and go do some workshops and go do a radio show and do all stuff, and that's going to make you feel better about yourself, and this is why I talk. So that's why I'm not the right coach for everybody. But if you want to go ahead and blow that money to make yourself feel good because you're on the TV, because you're on radio and you've got a podcast now and you've got this and this, and at the end of all that, we still don't know how to make our clients aware that we're open for business, people to help, that we're here to help people that they know, i.e. referrals. If we don't have a process to go ahead and get a minimum balance sheet, if not a full-blown financial plan, we have an issue there. And you have at least 100 other professionals you can start looking to create relationships with. And by the way, how many CPA/attorney/COIs does one advisor really need to be hyper effective? Less than a hand, right? Because here's the thing, until you've met with all 100, as an example, and look, 2/3 of them aren't going to be worth anything to us. We're not going to resonate. They're going to be competitors. Their psychology is not what we need. I get all that. But let's say it was 1 out of 10. So for every 10 COIs, 9 of them were a bust, but 1 of them drank your Kool-Aid. 1. And you had 100 to visit with. 90% absolute failure rate, right? But see, this is what we don't think this way. You know why? It's easier to get seduced with a shiny object. It's easier to go ahead and hand over your Amex card and try to solve your problems or your frustrations. And you know what? It doesn't work, or works rarely. Here's the last metaphor I'll give you, and then we'll wrap this up for today. If you suck as a driver, and all you're doing is investing in the car, oh man, I gotta make it faster. I gotta rebuild the engine. I gotta tune it. I gotta put a different suspension on it, right? Forking over that Amex card, right? But you suck as a driver, or you're gonna be, if you're racing, are you gonna be any more successful? Yes or no? The answer is of course no. Great car, crappy driver, bad result. Average car, great driver, good results, and that's been proven over and over again. You can actually drive to a win. So maybe instead of, here's my thought for you today. So maybe instead of forking over your Amex card to solve a challenge that you don't think is in the mirror, maybe it's time to look in the mirror. And maybe it's time to say, hey, you know what? I do suck at referrals. I got to get better at that. Or, you know what? I have no clue what I've got on my book of business. I've been absent. I've let my responsibility lax. I need to go fix that. And you know what? I've got 100 other professionals that I can go visit with, or at least reach out to, just for my client base. I don't need to go buy some CPA list. I mean, I don't want to go off on that. I have people come to me, say to me, I'm going to go buy a CPA list. What do you think? I go, how many clients do you have? Well, 175, 200. Do you know who their CPAs are? No. Why the hell are we buying a list? So you can talk, so you can be some stranger? At least here you got some commonality. You have a common client, right? I mean, let's think, people. It's not that complicated, right? Stop forking over the Amex card. Let's go do the work. Let's have an honest assessment of where you're at, right, with your business. And let's stop screwing around, okay? Hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day. See you next episode. So there you have it. If you really enjoyed watching this episode, go ahead and subscribe to the Magellan Network Show with Coach Joe here on YouTube. And remember, I'm always here to help you become a better entrepreneur, business owner, and financial advisor. With that, I'll see you next time on the Magellan Network Show with me, Coach Joe. Take care and goodbye.